Well, good morning and welcome to the first official episode of the Middle-Aged Musician Podcast. I am the aforementioned. My name is Tom Long.
Watch out. Hazard reported.
And that is my trusty sidekick Waze, as I am actually on my way this morning to a gig. It's actually a gig that I do every week, or have been doing every week now for at least 2 to 3 months now. I work at a campground up in the Great Smoky Mountains on Sunday mornings, doing the music for a church service. A friend of mine leads that. So I go up and take my guitar and I lead a few songs and then I drive back home. It takes me about an hour to get there. It's about a 50-mile drive up here, and I love it. You can't hardly beat the scenery of the Great Smoky Mountains in East Tennessee. So the scenery is really good, and so if my music's horrible, then at least you got a good visual of looking at the mountains. So decided to do this just mainly because I wanted to chronicle a lot of my musical life. I have not played professionally, meaning, I guess I am professional in that I'm getting paid to do what I do, but full-time would be the better word, the better phrasing, as I was in my 20s, a teenager. I hit the road full-time for a while in a band. Obviously didn't make a ton of money because I'm still gigging at over 50. But I will say I enjoy it probably as much or more now because I certainly don't take myself as seriously. And I do work really hard to produce a quality output. But at the same time, this is not how I feed my family. It's not how I take care of all of my bills. And it really does a couple of things, which maybe I'll get into a little later. But sorry for the road noise here, but I thought it would be cool to do this while I travel, because that's what gigging musicians do. We're on the road a lot, and I'm on the road in my 2000 Lexus RX 300 that, as of this recording, has 408,000 miles, actually 480 to be exact. And we've owned this car since 2006. And when we bought it, it had, I think, around 88,000 miles on it. So we've put a ton of miles on this car, but it has been a beast, and pray that it makes it to this gig and makes it home. And we buy cars to drive them. We're not collectors. And our other car has 243,000 miles on it. It's a Toyota Avalon. So that's what we do. But anyhow, the reason for the podcast is really because I know there are a lot of people out there that are in the same lane of life that I'm in. You're still out there pounding the streets, playing, singing, doing it online, certainly during the pandemic of 2020. And it's just fun and cool to hear other people's stories. And we'll see if I, roll this out to other areas of social media. Not so sure I'm ready to do that yet or not. What I hope to accomplish by doing this is cover a lot of subjects that we as middle-aged musicians, and I'm talking about people that are, I'm going to say the average life expectancy for human race, or at least American male, 70 years old, 75. So we'll give everybody the benefit and say if you are 40 and above, then you are a middle-aged musician, and that's saying that you're going to live to be 80, and that's a pretty good gig if it's a good life expectancy or a good quality of life. They cover things like gigging, how to get a gig, how to show up for a gig, the type of instruments or the type of stuff that you need to have with you, equipment, health concerns, how to talk to people, how to interact, song choice, just general conversation topics. And I would really, really like to hear your feedback, any ideas that you have, any interaction. I thought about maybe even setting up a call-in line to where you could just call and leave a message or something, or I'll talk to you if I'm able to pick it up. and get your ideas, get your input, collaboration, just everything. For instance, for me, one of my things that I like to do in the mornings, and I get up really early because this particular gig that I'm doing today starts at 9 a.m., which means I need to be there close to an hour before. My first time here, I was an hour early, and a lot of that also has to do with how much setup time is required, and I want to know what I'm getting into. And if the gig is not close enough to my home base, then I usually try to go by and just take a look at things on the front end to make sure that I'm not caught off guard. But in this particular case, I try to get there no later than 40 minutes early. I'm running a little bit behind today because my car, I can't really drive it as fast as I can drive our other car. It just won't run that fast. But I want to talk about those kind of things because those are things that I think people don't really take into consideration, especially when you're a young musician. Now, when you're older, you're a little more responsible, hopefully. Usually you've been in the work world, and that brings up a really good point. This is a job. Now, I know it's a job that most all of us love, and most, if not many of us, for sure, would do or are doing for free. I typically don't do these kind of things for free. I'm generally paid. Thankfully, I've just progressed to a point in my career through life and had a lot of experience that most people recognize that they do pay, they will pay me. And I still struggle sometimes asking, especially if it's someone that I know really well. But it's a job, and people have an expectation for you to fulfill the obligations of showing up, doing your job, doing what they have either seen you do before or they expect that you will do. And you need to treat it as such. One of the biggest complaints that I have had about band members and about other musicians is that they're so undependable. They're just not responsible. And I've been really, really blessed and fortunate throughout my musical career that I've had more dependable musicians in my life than I have undependable or non-dependable. And that is probably due to a couple of things. One of the things off the top of my head is that if you are flaky on me, I kind of live by the rule, burn me once, shame on you, burn me twice, shame on me. So I don't typically re-engage with musicians that I don't depend on or can't depend on. Your word's your bond. If you tell me you're going to do something, do it. And if you're not going to do it, if you have apprehension, tell me really, really early in advance so I can make other preparations. It's just absolutely, unbelievably disrespectful to flake out on someone, regardless. It doesn't even have to be in the musician context. So that's my soapbox. Anyhow, I would take this time to just talk about some various items, and I think will be important to us. It's certainly important to me, and I want to chronicle things, as I said earlier, too. So, all right. So that's a start off to this. I am actually about this. The Waze says I'm 35 minutes away, 20 miles. I'll be driving through the Smoky Mountains. I'm on the 4-lane here, and you can't really make up a ton of mileage on this because of police presence, even though it is not even 8 o'clock yet this morning. Police are still pretty prevalent out, and not that I'm trying to give a bad conversation to police officers or cops. I'm in a hurry, but they don't care. Their job is to protect and serve, and a part of that's to obey the law, and if I get caught, then I get caught. So want to be respectful, don't want to tie them up in an unnecessary issue that I could just be smart and not cause. So I'm going to sign off so I can focus on what I'm doing. Once I get off the main road here, I'm on a two-lane curvy road that winds through the mountains in order to get to the gig this morning. So thanks again for listening. Do all the things that podcasters want you to do. Like the podcast, subscribe, share it. comment. Appreciate any guidance and help on this. But I will say this before I sign off. This is not a slick recording, and that is on purpose. I don't want this to be so highly produced. I may do a couple of things to enhance the sound or what have you, but I don't expect, like, that motorcycle that just went by, you probably heard in the background. I don't expect to go in and just really overproduce this thing where I'm doing a lot of noise suppression and cancellation and all those kind of things. I may end up buying a nicer mic, as right now I'm just recording this as I drive on my iPhone. But the whole point of it is to be real, be authentic, which I think lends to the fun of listening to these types of podcasts. I listen to several podcasts during the day when I'm working my day job, plus walking or exercising or what have you. And the ones I really enjoy are the ones that are just like this one guy, Matt Rutherford, who is a sailor, and he records in his car, he records in his boat, he records in his apartment or wherever he lives. And it's fun. It's fun just to hear true life. And I feel actually more connected to him and not sold on a podcast. So if you don't like casual conversation and kind of just open-ended stuff, then this is not probably going to appeal to you. If you like a podcast that is reasonably well thought out, I do have an idea of what I'm going to talk about when I turn the record button on. If you like it, just kind of good conversation, as if you've hopped in the car with me and you are asking me some questions and I'm responding to those questions as we drive, then I hope you're going to enjoy this. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And I will answer questions as I receive those as well. So thanks a lot. Have a good time. Enjoy your life, because it's up to us to really do some things, I think, that are great. And we don't want to just sit around and let those things tarry. Bye now.